Hello. This is a session on the most important subject of this conference, and that is about how does this system of atomic war look? What is this system of atomic war? Because to criminalize something so dangerous and so existentially horrifying, you have to know how this system looks. And when you try to Google something about it, there is nothing. On the whole mother planet Earth, you can't find any matrix that would describe how this system is. So, we just have to use common sense, because obviously it is taboo. The institutes and universities are not doing any research in this subject that would be easy to find. And of course, the Google is not the ultimate resource, because Google itself is run by Silicon Valley. And definitely that filter is also filtering out many people like us who are doing research on these systems. But if we want to do it scientifically, so this would involve three types of systems. Systems biology, systems engineering, and systems psychology. And in these systems of biology, engineering, and psychology, you could put in matrices of a whole wide set of systems. And I personally see this as some kind of a sun that shines out the whole matrix of responsible areas for the situation where we are right now, for the risk of total annihilation and nuclear war. The solution will be the same. It will also be a systemical sun, because you can take out one just by a better one. And this is a peaceful solution, because we are not looking for criminals, not for to criminalize individuals, but to criminalize systems. So the very knowledge about what these systems are, and systemical scientists who would be trained to find these systems within our current reality, could be the solution of getting out of this systemic trap. And the sum of pieces is much more. It is something more than the sum of pieces. It is something bigger. It is the whole. It's something that creates a creature. And this sum of current systems of biology, systems of engineering, and systems of psychology have created this creature of nuclear war and environmental extinction. And if we just start from another end now and start visualizing something that is protective and loving and ecological, something that we can trust, and then we break it down into systems of biology, systems of engineering, and systems of psychology. That's probably the way forward. So these systems of psychology have to be loving, caring and understanding towards each other and towards others, and towards the same and different. As well, it goes for systems of engineering, but systems of engineering are more rational because we can really re-engineer them without losing living systems as much as in psychology where everybody is alive. And systems of biology is in this matter very similar to psychological ones. So generally, if we make this into common sense, then there are these conceptualists who have tried to fix systems that and proven them working well. And one of them was actually Muammar Gaddafi, wasn't he? He created a very good system in his country. He wrote this very little green book, conceptual science it is actually, his vision of a happy nation. And he lived by the rules of it, and furthermore. But somehow, the financial structures and the military and the church didn't like his achievements and destroyed his rule in body and soul. And our planet is falling into an abyss of slavery, which has been systemically built into various systems, both psychological and architectural. There are many other conceptual works. I have been associated with Scientology in a matter that I have never been in any Scientology group, but Google, Silicon Valley, have written that I'm a Scientologist. That's why I wanted to show you Scientology concept, which I checked out after I was blackmouthed to be Scientologist. And the concept itself is very interesting actually, but what has been made out of it is very ugly. Because, of course, the current power structures have used Hubbard's work to create it into a slavery trap too. And CIA is using these Scientology people just to make people into they're reporters. They have these sessions where they are supposed to treat each other in therapy, and then they report on their findings to CIA, and it is really the worst you can do. So when I was thinking about us trying to create these good systems, I was really understanding that all the power structures will try to hijack our findings. And they will try to make out of our findings another trap for people. And that is one reason why I haven't been writing down much of my findings. Because it's much more legitimate to me to have a video where you can see me and it can't be manipulated by CIA. And furthermore, it's very important that the findings that we have are put into place in a way like it is organized in nature. When you have birds going from north to south, there is no leader. The birds change each other. They switch each other. When one gets tired, the other takes place of the leader. And so it has to be in our work too. But the question then is, how do we get people to be so competent so they could switch each other as leaders? How do we? We have to study. We have to study the crucial wisdoms of power structure and valuable issues. And this we will have on Friday, on the 5th of June. We will be talking what these valuable parameters are that everybody has to have competence in. Unfortunately, they are not taught in school and not in universities. And they are not many. They are quite simple. You can learn them in 1 week. But it is hidden knowledge, unfortunately. Because right now, we are living in the times of the brave new world. As Huxley wrote, that it has been built now already almost 100 years ago, he wrote this. And we are in that state when everybody is having lots of possibilities, many interesting options to do, but no truth and no valuable things to do without corrupting your soul, and very limited options to have healthy possibilities for your body too, as the environment is getting contaminated and the foods and so on and so forth. But back to the systems. What are the systems of nuclear war? So let's try to put the basic core. The basic core is love, the dichotomy of love and hate. And so the concept of love have been overtaken by the church, but it is a universal value, so we have to take it back. And everybody can possess endless amounts of possibility to love, and not hate. Yeah? So when we stop hating, we don't allow ourselves to hate anything, but we are love. That's where we start. That's the basic core. And the next axe that comes out of that is that when we do that, we get the connection to the higher sources, because that is love, the source of love. And then we have the divine love connection, and that is the core of the system that stops nuclear war systems. And then there is, of course, land, the property. So to this horizontal structure, to this vertical structure, there is a horizontal structure of property and land. And here comes the subject of ownership. Who owns the land? And if we start to check out on that system, we will find out that that is connected to the first, because the church owns most of the planet's land that it's worth owning. And the next core is, of course, our laws, which are also connected to the first. Do we live by divine laws, or do we, given by higher forces and our predecessors, or do we have some imposed laws that we have to submit to? Which is the case. Everybody knows that you don't have to have read the imposed laws, but you have to submit them, they say, which is not true. We don't have to. This is our choice. And that is what we have started to do in Latvian society. We have a commission of, there's a different word in Latvian that is not law but higher law. So we have a higher law commission, and in that we have honor court, and their 9 aborigines can take decisions, systemic decisions, and we make decisions not to obey laws that are in conflict with our heart consciousness. Because in Latvian we have this word, heart consciousness. It is the consciousness of our heart. It's such a beautiful word. I really miss it in English. But it really describes the soul of my people. And so what more systems are there that are important? There is, of course, this system of the work, of the fruit of our labor, of our services that we do for each other and currently for the system of employees. And how this is connected to the property and land is very important. So this brings us to the question of money. And everywhere on the planet right now, systemically stolen control of money. So we have the right to control the money. This is in the definition of money. So what is money? Money is exchange of goods and services. This is some kind of means of exchange of goods and services. And then there is the second part of the sentence, which goes like this. That is managed by the group that issues the money. And that second part of the sentence has been lost in current economy books. In the modern business society and all the education that is Western education now, which is, by the way, managed by the network of Phi Beta Kappa. Phi Beta Kappa is an organization created approximately at the same time when American Constitution was written. It's a very traditional, very old organization of the very most posh universities that is intrinsically corrupt. And if you look at the monument of liberty in Latvia, you will see her holding these 3 stars. And these 3 stars are actually, if you zoom them in, yeah? Did you?
Yeah, I was about to, and then you just jumped across to a different page.
Okay, here I am back.
Right.
So if you look at this organization, Phi Beta Kappa Society, access denied. Oh look, they have closed it. Oh God, this is great.
It's under maintenance.
Anyway, this is the organization. If you zoom in, please, this part, then, yeah? Please, this one is adequate, yeah? This is the organization that has these 3 stars in its logo. And it was founded at the same time almost like American Constitution. And these guys have been creating these educational systems just to get grip of the planetary resources. And they are telling you this definition about money. Because they want to control the money, and they do control the money. That's how they created Federal Reserve Bank. That's how they did 2 world wars. And in the plan there is the 3rd World War. And after the 3rd World War, there will be New World Order established.
There will be nothing at all of this.
And no, I think this is exactly going their way. And nuclear weapons and nuclear war scare is legitimate part in this game. It's a shock doctrine. It always allows them to get what they want, because everybody is so scared of nuclear war. That's why we have to remain in the energy of love and not to get scared. To unwind this major achievement that Phi Beta Kappa Society has created. And actually our Freedom Monument is a monument of global slavery. You see? And Phi Beta Kappa is what we go and pray on. When Latvians go and think that they are praying on freedom, they actually are going and praying on slavery. And this is a very, very advanced piece of art to come to that level. I have been studying art. When I was 25, I studied fine arts in pedagogics and had fabulous teachers for 5 years, or even 6. So you could see art in everything. This is one of the highest pieces of art, systemic art of the sciences. But what is there more? What would we suggest? Other parts are of course consequential, we talk about science as the solution, but science is embedded in five-headed campus societies work, because they work through universities. So that's why we need to create our network of independent scientists. And of course, talking about money, the whole banking system and the whole financial system is also designed by these academics. And one thing we have to think about is also that as it is now, we don't have any science, because what we have is corporate lobby. And to create science, the people who do science, they have to have totally independent means for living. The science can come only when you are independent, when you can follow your heart consciousness, your love, your true connection to the Mother Earth spirit. And as you know, scientists now, they work too much and in a too narrow area, so they have these pieces of intellectual sort of theories, but they don't connect to the whole properly, as the communication between the units is poor too, and the units are not independent. They are financed by corporations. And corporations are, most of money have also military interests. And so it's mainly in the order of suffering and death. It's some kind of death cult, depopulation plans, and that's where we really have gone far too far, when war and mass murder is legitimate. So here we come into military corporation, military complex. That is another system. And then there is this very subtle, very sensitive way where all the nice people who are well psychologically and well educated and sort of nice, they get sucked into the career systems. They think that the better careers you have, the more successful you are, which is not true. And that's why giving the true values to people and re-educating them on internet is, by my understanding, the best way forward. And because these young people who follow careers and great business plans and projects, they have to make a choice to forget the true colors of their soul. And so it should not be. If we create a money system that is controlled by the people themselves, everything comes into order. And these systems are quite simple. We have even a Latvian book on democratic money It is a translation in much from one Swiss book, because the best way forward, of course, is to unfold it, to decentrifuge it from the center of monetary and financial powers, which is Switzerland, the black hole of the planet, with the Swiss banking and the very... If Switzerland would create democratical money, then the domino would unfold. As in Switzerland we have also the central bank spider net core, which is Bank of International Settlements, BIS.org, and all sorts of other financial and insurance corporations who are creating wars, planning them. And then we talk also about the Vatican and Jesuit order, and the military. And all the other issues are secondary. And the way forward here is indigenous, because the indigenous have had preserved their native, divine culture. It has been really, it has had so many years of Inquisition, and Inquisition is still ongoing, worse than ever, systemically over and over worked, computerized Inquisition through all these systems that are very subtle. And even when you are in bed, lying with your beloved, you have the Inquisition in your bed. Because when you will be making a choice to have a baby or not, you will be setting your mind on the systems that the Inquisition has put on your state. But we will get out of this. So, enough for today. I think I have sketched it in, sort of, enough for the first seminar. And please do stay with us in contact and send your research and findings to our webpage, email, info@bsrrw.org, so that we become strong together, because only together and keeping loving communication with each other, we will uncode this systemic error and put into place a good one. Which we will be how to do that we will talk on Friday, on the 5th of June. Thanks so much for being with us. In love.